welcome back to episode 3 of Whiskey Thru the Lens. We have a straggler here today. The man, the myth, the legend of private picks, the one that knows everything about everything, Mr. Nicholas LaPlante from Syracuse. Welcome, dude.
That's quite the introduction. I don't know if I can live up to that.
We should have had a freaking king, you were the king.
The BK crown?
Yeah, BK crown. No, this episode we're doing a live pick. Nick has been on several of the Elite Barrel picks. So what better way to add additional body to this episode? Today we are drinking, tasting, potentially picking, if there's any good ones, Traverse City.
Which you guys can see.
Traverse City Whiskey Company out of Traverse City, Michigan. Shout out to the Michiganders. They are sourced from, I believe, Barton, and there's one oddball rye in there from MGP. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
That's an oddball. Anything, before we get started and trying these, anything new since the last episode?
John, say hi and
hi, because I forgot to introduce myself in the first episode too. So I am John KRUSPE, founder of Rochester Whiskey Enthusiasts. Actually, it's good to have you though, Nick.
Happy to be here.
You've been around for a while, actually, from the beer world too, so it's kind of cool to actually finally meet you.
Yeah, likewise. Happy to be here. Excited for this Traverse City stuff. Some of the stuff I've had from them has been pretty good, so excited to dive in.
Dude, he costs a lot of money to get here.
Oh, I'm sure. We had to pay transportation. What was it, like a stretch limo or something for one person?
From Syracuse. So
it's parked outside if you don't believe me.
And I'm Rich Brainerd. I'm the other one of the three.
You're the lens part.
The lens part. And I met Nick almost a year ago at Finger Lakes Distilling.
Yeah.
The Corona Lisa pick.
Ooh, fantastic pick.
And what was the other? Huff and Duvac, I think.
Yeah, Huff and Duvac.
Yeah.
I've known Nick way too long. I'm just gonna leave it at that. No, Nick and I, we've traveled a lot to Kentucky. I consider him as an okay palate in our group, probably the worst. No, he's.
It's definitely lower tier, yeah.
Yeah, he's probably the last person. Since he has a flexible job, it's nice, it's convenient now. But no, Nick, I trust what he has a lot to say. And when we pick stuff, he's been in a lot of picks, and it's always nice to have him be on this one and be here on the show. And let's get started. So,
yeah, absolutely. Let's dive in.
Normally, I know you all have been on my picks before. We like to have some downtime and kind of choose the outliers and whatnot. First time we've tried these, I really don't know unless you can see behind.
Yeah, say they can see.
You guys can see. But honestly, we set this up.
Little zoom in.
We don't know what is what. I'm sure we could probably.
They all smell pretty good. I think I picked out the MGP rye.
I think I did as well.
So we'll go through 1 through 5, left to right, and
our left.
Our left, your right. But with one, man, it's like I said, I normally don't like to talk, but
great nose.
Yeah, great nose.
Yeah.
Caramel, well balanced.
It's up there improved too.
It's got some heat in the back end.
Yeah, there's a lot of heat in the
Nice transition across the palate too.
Nice spice.
It's not punchy at any point.
So as compared to our last episode, I'm just going to say our highest proof last time I think was 115.
Yeah,
14?
115 or 18.
The OF was.
Oh well, the
was
old Granddad
was
114.
114. So those were the highest proofs, but
we don't honestly on the front labels of these. They don't give proof. I know in age range. I think they're like 5 to 7 year, but they don't really specify. So that's the best thing when you're doing picks is I don't want to know anything about anything I'm drinking besides Travis or whoever it's coming from. Is it a source? Is it this? I don't want to know anything else.
Yeah, the less you
I don't
know.
want my
Right, the more
because
fun it is,
Right.
actually, yeah.
a lot of people are persuaded. Like, I mean, come on. If you're drinking Weller, it's going to be amazing,
Yeah.
right?
How many times have you drank
Not
whiskey
necessarily.
with somebody that is not well versed, and you say, like, I taste, strawberry cotton candy, and then they're, oh, yeah, so do I. Like, I mean, it's so easy to persuade people, and like it's nice to have blind like
But
this
it's also
because-
nice to have those people because honestly, I'm not the one. I know my personal opinion. It's good or bad, and I get
Right, yeah.
my palate's starting to I'm starting to get the whole wheel thing. But it's good or bad, and I get hints of certain things. But
Yeah.
if I am that person. If someone says cotton candy,
You'll get
Oh,
it.
I can guess.
I'll
that.
say yes or no. I'm not going to
can-
be bullshitting you and be like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
No, I either get it or not. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fancy word for it, I think, is gustatory bias, and it can really be persuasive.
Nice.
So when you can remove those variables and just have a general idea, it's about this age range, so you know what notes you're looking for.
Yeah.
It's from a source you're familiar with, maybe whether it's MGP. Then you've kind of leveled the playing field a bit, and you're not going to be skewed by any of that up front. But also, you want to be skewed by it. You're in a pick like this. We
Well,
want to
yeah.
talk about it when we get there.
Yep.
And
I say sometimes those new people, that are sort of young to the hobby, like they will tell you something that you're like, holy shit, well, yeah, I get that too, actually. I didn't even think about that. And they'll give you a flavor that you never even thought about.
sure.
Who goes around so what I think I need to do is and I've been doing it to a certain point, is do a little scratch and sniff, literally go around your house and scratch your leather sofa.
Yeah.
Wow, what does that actually smell like? And it's amazing what you can actually bring out of things, and oh my god, that's what it does
Yeah,
smell
that's
like.
when
a
you
leather
hear
sofa,
all those
like,
weird things
you know,
like, like the whole leather or tobacco and, shoe leather versus boot leather,
Yeah, there's also so the two things. One, if you want to cleanse your nose or clear your nose,
Smell yourself.
yeah, smell your skin. Smell your skin. Go back to it, and you're gonna be like, wow.
It's a way to reset.
Coffee's another good one.
Coffee's good
If
too.
you do coffee beans, just have
Yeah.
a little bowl, and you can
But even if you
they're
don't, just smell like Jeff said, smell your skin.
But I'm
the best way to
super
reset.
jealous because I know I don't know what pick it was. I've been to Kentucky so many times recently, but Nick went to this place. I don't even know where it was, but basically they gave you. It was all about your palate.
Oh yeah, we did an advanced palate training. So I knew it was going to be interesting.
So you didn't learn anything from it apparently.
I learned a ton. It was. It changed not only how I taste whiskey, but other spirits, and I even do some of the techniques for beer. Super informative. I knew it was going to be great. This guy walks out, introduces himself as a professor in adjunct bourbon studies. I didn't even know you could get
Is
a
that even
degree in
a thing?
bourbon.
I was gonna say.
You need to take that class.
I guess
Yeah.
in Kentucky you can. And he goes, I just want to make sure everyone's clear. There are 5 tastes. Everything else is a flavor.
Yeah, right.
If you don't know that, you should have come to my first one because we're going to go a lot deeper than that tonight. And I was hooked at that moment. I was like,
Nice.
this guy is going to
Yeah.
teach us some tricks.
So the 5 tastes would be what, sweet, sour?
Sweet, sour,
Salt.
bitter, umami,
Yeah.
and salt.
Yeah.
Yeah, umami is the
Maybe
other
we
one.
can get maybe we can have shout out to Phil Gull, our editor, see if he can post the wheel.
The bourbon wheel, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great way to taste too, because you talk about that
Cheers to
gustatory
Phil.
bias.
Yeah. Thank you for all the help so
All
far.
right, so we're gonna use a little
Yeah.
number 1 and do a little
Yeah.
cheers to Phil.
Yeah, P. Willie and I go way back. P. Willie in the house.
That is if he's still editing by this point. He might have given up.
No, he-
he might have given up on it.
He might have just given up right there, actually.
So let's dive into these. I think we've all had a chance to try them. What I like to do is kind of choose our 2 outliers to start with. I think there are 2 that, they're all pretty good. I can definitely know. I know which one the rye is. I believe that's number 3.
That's what I picked as my
100%.
I think that's a banging rye.
Yeah, it's
I don't,
really
I
good.
don't know what, I think the year, I think what I was told was 5 or 6 year rye.
So that would be this one, right?
Yeah, the middle one. Still don't know, but man, that's,
It's got a super balance to
I mean,
it.
it just has that
It's got that Alberta caramel to it that I like.
caramel.
You know?
It's bright. It's really
Yeah,
bright up
it's
front.
got the funk to it.
It's
a
got
little
a
bit.
nice minty undertone, the
Yeah,
herbal notes, the
bright
baking
funk.
spice on the finish, man.
In my opinion, this is the typical MGP rye. A little more bright than what they normally do, but I think that is a winner in my opinion.
Somebody commented on one of the groups that, oh, rye sucks. It's like eating rye bread. Well, motherfucker, if I can get rye bread that tastes like this, I'll eat it all day. That's all I'm going to say.
No, I mean that's delicious. And I know with Traverse City they use a lot of cooperages. I think they sent us Calvin with a different chart, and then also ISC.
They're the rolling dice or whatever, the one pick I got that you guys did.
Tumbling dice.
Tumbling dice with Kevin, right? The red label. Like that, I really like that. I feel like that didn't get much love, but I think it was really good.
I mean, yeah, it's tough in the pick world because if people don't know, I mean, I just dropped a new label of my own that we created it. and
Phil
tried-
Oak King.
Yeah, the
right
Oak,
there.
yeah, the Oak King.
Yeah.
But no, it is MGP, but
Yeah.
it's you get 10, 15 samples from these guys, and you choose something, and it's
Well, we had that discussion about source. Like some people hate on source whiskey, and the thing is, like if you're developing a brand, I mean, this isn't beer. This isn't something that's going to be ready in 2 weeks. So I mean, if you're developing a brand now, you need to have a product to release. So that's where source whiskey comes in. And if you have MGP, you have Northern Distillers, like they make great stuff. So I mean,
I want to tour that place.
the only hope is that your stuff is as good.
I would love to see it.
Eventually when it comes out, yeah, it'd be awesome to see that.
Right,
Like
yeah.
Mackenzie chose not to source.
Yeah,
They just waited.
No,
and
I mean
they
that's
did
great too.
gin and
Yeah, I mean
vodka
it's,
before that.
but I mean there's no. I don't think either one is wrong. I think they're both good.
Just being honest is the biggest thing I have. Is
Yeah, full transparency.
Agreed.
Like,
if I think Templeton Rye. I mean, nothing against them, but I think they were the first ones to source, and I'm telling you, the label's where it's at.
well, Kentucky is like the new source place too, and nobody, a lot of people are saying Kentucky bourbon, but they won't say where from.
Sure, yeah.
Well, there's only a few players that are sourcing. If you look at
That's now, though.
it's all about reading. Reading labels is the key, in my opinion. And if distilled in Bardstown, well, you have Willett, you have Barton,
Right.
and you have Heaven Hill.
That goes back
Willett's
to
probably not sourcing you.
No.
Barton potentially is because they're humongous, and Heaven Hill. So it's between those two. And if you do some digging and
well, that goes
deep
back to our
diving.
last episode. Is like knowing what whiskey you like that you found
Check
at
the
the
mash
store.
bill.
Like figure out the mash bill, and like
You know what mash
once
bill
you
Heaven Hill.
you can taste that. You start to recognize like breweries. You start to recognize
Absolutely,
yeast
yeah.
strains and stuff like that. And you can blind pick something.
The gentleman who ran that palate training could tell you the distillery 100% of the time, just because of his knowledge of the mash bill and
That's
the nuance
super
that he's used to
impressive.
pulling out.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
That's crazy.
I really like number one, which would be this one.
No, it's this one.
That one. Okay.
I in my opinion, I think I don't know. I like these. I like 4 and 5 a lot.
4 is excellent. I just had 4.
I'll
and
go
it's
back
like
to
it's
4.
Just
I mean,
sitting there.
look, this
going
is-
it's really good, really good.
What we like, I mean, the majority here. Rich could say
We're all wrong.
Rich
We're all
could,
wrong.
Rich
Totally.
could
We're all
say
wrong.
I don't like any of them. That's fine. I mean,
Oh yeah. 4's got like a deeper, savory nose.
Yeah.
Were you influenced though?
I'm not.
It reminds me of that maple
See, that's
syrup.
part of it.
It's
It is part
yeah,
of it.
it's
We-
not
when we
smoky,
generally
but
do
it
it,
gives
we
you
don't
that
talk about it a
savory,
whole
like
lot.
There's a lot more of caramelized sweetness
Yeah,
and
that-
sugars on 4
Dark
and 5 than
sugars
there is
are-
in 1 and 2, I
So
think.
that is the thing. We just influenced him. That is 4 and 5 is Weller.
Yeah.
No,
But it's
kidding.
true. It's
No, but like that's why I like.
I was gonna say I'm getting up and leaving right now because it's
Yeah.
not.
Well, I
when
was
we-
there with you, Jeff. I'd already set aside kind of what I liked out of the set, and 4 was a standout for me. even before the bias of calling it Weller.
Yeah.
Whether or not
It's not
it's
Weller.
better, or I think it's older. I think it's older than 1 because I like 1.
I think one's really nice too.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
But this is 1. It's a little bit higher too because there's more of the fusel.
4 and
thing going
5.
on.
4 and 5 are my favorites.
I get a little more fusel out of 4 than 1, but that's respectable because I think it's older.
What did you like, Nick? I mean, and normally this is 100%.
This is what we do.
This is not how we normally do it.
like,
We wanted to bring something unique, a private pick.
yeah.
But normally, without having you guys bored staring at us and being like, all right, when are these guys going to talk?
So we said up front we'd all talk.
We would all talk. I don't
Very
give
nutty, number 5.
we normally don't say anything until we try them all and say what our least favorite, and we pull 2 out. I think number 3 we all can agree is a
That's the
fucking
end.
banger.
Yeah, that's
Dude,
a
that
great-
rye is.
yeah.
The rye is good. Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
picking rye. We're picking that for sure.
That
And
one's
now-
in.
But I mean, yeah, this is the non-glamorous side of what we do.
Yeah.
Like this is what we do. So when we came up with this concept of this podcast, was the 3 of us were sitting in your house and we were drinking, having fun, laughing, talking about samples that we were trying. And I was like, well, this could be a show. Like this could be an episode, and this is what it is. I mean, it's fun because you kind of get to know like grains and influence of time and barrel and rickhouse location and all that.
For
You know?
sure. No, I get it. Is there one outlier that you guys don't like? I mean, let's narrow it down.
I mean, I would start with 5. I think 4 and 5 are kind of similar, but I think
I don't like 5.
5 is probably a little bit higher ABV. It's got a lot of back end heat, and it comes across with a strong corn note that is not present in 4. I think 4 is a little more balanced between those 2.
Yeah, I would eliminate 5.
I think
nose-
that
the
keep
nose
four.
would
You know
go
what's
for it,
funny?
too.
You know what's funny? I bet that since these do not tell the proof, I bet this is actually a lower proof. It's just not balanced well enough. To be
That
honest.
could be, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
coming across as
I think
hotter.
4 is a bigger proof than 5. I think this is just not as well balanced as 4.
It could be, for sure. There's a distinct sweetness on 4 that's really drawn me
I'm
in.
telling you.
You want to get real
Almost
nerdy?
like a molasses kind of
If
note.
you just
I think
nose
5
4 and
has way
5,
too many heads in it.
4 is way better. 4's
Yeah.
got a way better nose, which is going to generally lead to a better palate.
Agreed.
So we have 1, 2, and 4 left. 5 is adios.
Yep.
I mean,
I mean, you said you like 4 and 5 the best, so
Yeah, I did.
so at that point,
I think,
4 is better than 5, so that's okay. Okay, but
oh, I
I'm gonna
agree. 4,
revisit 2.
I think, let's get down to 2. I
I was picking on those 2 because I felt they were more similar than 1 and 2. Like 1 and 2 kind of have a similar nose between the 2.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how the MGP sort of separate, like 4 and 5 are similar, 1 and 2 are similar.
Right.
See, I like 2.
Oh, it's kinda harsh.
I like 2 over 1.
Do you? I was just going to say 2 is a little bit harsh to me.
This is why we're all wrong, because it's like, everyone has their own
I'm
opinion.
never correct. I'm just,
I mean, I also like 2 over 1.
fuck yeah, 2 first 2.
2 against 2. What are we going to...
Yo, are you back there? No one's back there.
No one's back there.
don't have a
You guys
tiebreaker.
are back there.
All right, I'm
you
gonna
guys
do it
know
again.
we're drinking them.
I think if you look purely at the nose, where you're getting most of your flavors from, I think the nose on 4 blows 1 and 2 away.
I agree.
I don't think it's close.
I'm gonna go
Well,
with 4. 4's already well ahead of
No,
1
but
and
first
2.
of all,
Agreed.
like I always tell everybody, you can nose all day long.
Yeah, I mean,
You're not drinking it.
You're not drinking it.
I'm not sitting here. Damn, that's good.
You could.
I'd probably be a lot thinner if that's all I had to do to enjoy bourbon, right?
Yeah, but with your 400 bottles, you'd have 1,000 real quick because
Yeah.
why aren't you breaking the seal on that one?
Yeah, true.
Because I'm a nose specialist.
All right, so just as a rough, like how many bottles do you have open?
Probably 75 of just bourbon.
Just bourbon.
how about
Just bourbon rye. Bourbon rye.
For 75?
I'd say about 75.
open,
Open.
like 315,
Open?
320 open.
Well, I should say that this number is skewed
Actually,
by the
Meredith.
COVID bias of working remotely and being at my house all
You
day.
finished so many?
Bourbon and
We
rye.
crushed some
Bourbon
bottles.
and rye only,
bourbon
probably
rye.
like 200.
Yeah, I'm probably 150. Maybe 200. I don't know. I'm at.
I got to talk to you about that system.
I think we probably
use the
emptied
spray cans, but Meredith and I kind of
75 that were partials.
Yeah.
It's the numbers up there for
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, I probably have 120 at home and then here.
Having
I don't even wanna
200
think about it.
bottles
Right.
open
Another
is
100
not
maybe.
right.
So
Right.
don't do that.
It's impatience.
But if I count tequila,
That's me.
rum, Armagnac,
Oh, that
I
number
mean,
goes way up,
tequila,
way up.
rum, mezcals.
Dude, we're gonna have
Well, actually, not so much rum.
we're gonna have an episode
have a lot
on
of rum, but-
Rich's Armagnac, dude.
Well, I hope you invite me back for that one too.
Episode 5 is Raid Rich's house. That's what we're gonna do.
Where does Rich live?
Cue Mission Impossible theme here.
Yeah.
So let's
Ping,
get
ping,
back.
ping.
We have,
we'll get back.
We have
Focus.
Yeah.
one, two, 4. I mean, 1 and 2 are so similar.
They are really similar.
But you like 2 over 1?
I like 2 over 1 if I was looking at these two, but I just want to draw attention to the mouthfeel on 4.
Really?
Look,
Okay.
hey, hold
Well-
on. First of all, you look at the. I mean, look at the color on 4. Fuck.
On 4?
Yeah.
It's dark, yeah.
four is the winner for me.
4 is
100%.
4 is the
I'm
winner
gonna
for me,
give-
but I'm trying to get to yes. I'm trying to Dale Carnegie these gentlemen here.
If we wanted to rate them all, I mean, do we?
No,
it
we
is
don't
five-
need. We
it
don't
is
need to
5
rate
versus
them.
1.
We don't need to rate them. But I'll tell
So
you.
actually,
what,
at 1, 2, and 4, are we picking one of these 3?
yeah.
Okay.
We've already picked a rye. I mean,
Well,
I wasn't.
yeah, you got me there.
I wasn't-
I would pick 4.
I wasn't planning on picking 2 barrels tonight, but I mean that rye was so spectacular. We might as well.
Yeah,
that's part of the
that's a
fun too,
given,
right? When you
man.
don't
Yeah.
know what you're getting into, you could find a couple of things that you really enjoy.
Yeah.
So
I
Nick's
think
been
that
on-
this is unique.
Nick's been on probably, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, too many picks of mine. No, I'm kidding. But no, he's been on a lot of picks. He's been on a lot of picks, and there's times. Were you? Yeah, you were at. Were you at Russell's?
I was not at
Oh,
Russell's.
no. So we've picked several barrels. You know, sometimes we'll go in with just saying, hey, we'll pick 1. No, we picked 2, 3, 2. I don't think we've picked more than 2, but
I felt that way
if
at
they-
4 Roses. Like there was another one that I wanted.
there's times, unfortunately, but you know.
If I had the coin, I would have bought that barrel myself.
So we're gonna stick.
Yeah, that's a given.
Let's look.
Number
Let's
3.
look and see where we're at.
Number 3 was the rye, 95 rye.
Medium
Char 4,
Char 4,
Kelvin
makes sense.
Cooperage.
That makes
I
sense.
believe this is a 5-year rye. No proof on it, but my guess is
It's up
about
there.
110-ish.
Yeah, I was gonna say 110,
115.
Yeah, I was thinking 115 was the number I had in my head.
But
I'm gonna say over 110 for sure. But
it has that minty.
We're gonna
So
check
this will
that.
probably be
We're gonna-
edited
We're gonna
out,
find
but
that
I
out,
have
and it's gonna show up later. Thanks
Yeah.
to Phil.
I have a buddy, TJ. He makes wine and cider. The
Telling you.
dude is like a proof master. Like he'll drink something and he'll tell you to the proof point.
That's
sure.
It's really weird.
That's
That'll
115.
probably be edited out. But
That-
like I'm telling you, man, he'll
No,
try a
sure.
wine, a cider, a beer, and he'll be like, "Oh, it's 8.5%." And you're like,
It's
"Holy fuck, dude.
unbelievable,
Like, How
right?
do you do that?"
That's 115.
Yeah.
And honestly, so when it comes back to 1, 2, and 4, let's just say 5. 5 was the outlier.
5 was the one we
Yeah, we'll
mixed
eliminate
So
for-
it was a bourbon that was 21% rye. It was Char 4 and a Kelvin Cooperage. I think this was a 6.5 year.
So actually,
It's
so
not bad. I mean,
Traverse
it's not
City
bad.
though.
Traverse.
What?
It's
Traverse
really good.
City. So what is their normal mash bill? Because they only say the amount of rye. Like what else is in there? I mean, we got corn and.
Well, it has to be 51. It has to be 51%. I think it's actually. I want to say it's. Let's bring it up.
Yeah,
I
bring
think
it up.
I think it's 60%. I
Yeah,
want to
'cause
say.
Let's go to the tape.
Well, they're happy about apparently writing the percentage of rye on there, which is cool. But I don't know what else is in their mash bill. I'm curious.
5 to 10% malted barley is pretty standard, so I would think that that's
Yeah.
going to be in the mix. And
But that
the,
makes
the,
a big difference. Though.
No, actually,
It could 5 to 15.
we're all
Really.
fucking around,
Right.
dude.
Yeah,
You're
it
absolutely
makes a
right.
big difference.
It's 75% corn,
75 corn. Okay.
21%. Honestly, I have not got.
That's 96. So what's the other?
wow, only 4% malted barley? That's
Yeah.
low. Yeah.
That's really
So
low
I've-
for multi-part.
I did not get any corn notes off any of those 4.
I got huge corn notes on 5.
Me
Yeah.
too. I got a lot of corn on 5.
But I don't get it as much on 4. 4, I get this like molasses sweetness.
Like the corn in there. There's a lot of corn on that.
It's the sweetness I get. It's not
Yeah.
not like
But like kettle corn. Think kettle corn like
yeah,
that.
I get that, but not like. There's other corn notes I get that are big time.
It could just be the balance.
I
for
love
me,
get
too.
it up front,
like,
though, too.
I also love
Yeah.
kettle corn, so
See, I
Without
don't,
so
and
much
that's
malt,
why
it's a
that's
little
good
weird.
balance
Like,
though.
it's different than a lot of things, but it's really good.
It's giving
really
that
good.
unique
20%
sweetness, I
rye.
think.
So we
That's-
have 1, 2, and 4.
Yep.
I mean, I think if I got
Yeah,
rid
all
of
right,
one, it would be one.
I'm gonna run through this again.
1 would be the next one I would cut out as well.
First time Nick and I agreed in like 10 years of dating.
I still think I like the nose of one better, but
Yeah, I like the nose of one a
I'm
lot,
gonna,
actually.
I'm gonna,
I think you guys should stick back. You should stick to photography, and you should stick to
Selling furniture.
yeah.
I
I'm
really
certainly
like the
not
nose
making
of
money
one.
this way, so that's
It
okay.
reminds me of like Old Forester, you know, like or like the Jack picks, like it's really banana
But do
forward.
you think
Malt
do you think
forward.
1 and 2 is better than 4?
No.
I'm not gonna say yes or
100%
no.
no.
yet.
The nose on 1 is better than
I went too close.
a lot of stuff that we've tried, I think,
Yeah.
collectively over the period of time that we've been doing these, but I don't think either of these hold a candle to 4 on the nose. There's
Yeah.
that sweetness on there that
Even
just
drinkability.
keeps drawing me in.
So
it's a
in
moot
your
point.
defense,
It's
I
always
do get my favorite part of the nose on 1. I do get it. And here it just takes a little bit longer to find it because I think it's a little bit higher proof. I'm gonna guess,
Sure. That's
but
on
it's
4.
there. Yeah,
I don't
on
think
4.
4 is higher proof than those two.
I'm also now super curious.
It's under
overlooked.
115, I think.
Yeah,
I don't,
yeah.
I
don't
don't think
think
4's
so.
higher than 1 and 2 either.
You think
but
it's higher than
4's
115?
I
marvelous.
wouldn't be surprised if this is
Really?
the 115, 116
Yeah.
range.
I think
The sugary note's going to hide some of that proof, I
sure.
think.
I think that's fucking banger.
It's really, really good.
It's great.
Yeah, after
So-
tasting it again,
so
I'd agree.
first thing I'm gonna
It's a
say
little
is
bit
that
higher.
Traverse City, like, I've never had it before, to be honest, and if that's all their own juice.
I wish
No,
I had
it is not.
some
So
of
this
on
is
here.
so this is I believe Kentucky distillate. And so I believe it's Barton, which is fine. They were open and honest about it.
Okay, even so, they're sourcing good barrels.
They're sourcing. So
That's a big bonus for everyone.
they were known to get MGP a couple years ago, 10 to 12 year MGP product, and then they were never in New York, and now that LibDib, shout out to LibDib because they've made my life a lot easier with distro of people that aren't in New York. I don't even know if there's been a Traverse City pick in New York. I really don't care.
I'm eliminating number 2.
But they are doing some. Look, at the end of the day, as long as you're honest, I don't really care. I know there's
Full
been a lot of.
It's all good whiskey.
It's all whiskey.
Yeah.
It's your label. You're stamping whatever's inside that bottle. So if you're not being completely transparent, that's unfortunate.
So that goes with the starting a new label. Like, are you going to make your own and wait for it, or are you going to source something else? Like, just full transparency. If you're going to do either one,
It's like,
it's
do you
fine.
want to be a whiskey? Do you want to be well known in whiskey, or do you want to be well known in vodka? I understand that vodka and gin and the others get you cash flow quickly.
Sure, it's a faster
So
turnaround
the
time,
issue with,
maturation.
like, look at Smooth Ambler, right? They sourced a ton of MGP.
Yeah,
Sourced a ton of it. And then there was a little transition in the last couple of years where they brought in Tennessee whiskey. And I believe, I don't run Smooth Ambler, but I think they saw a downside of their,
yeah, they did.
Different
now-
profile. Yeah, you
now
anchored.
Totally different profile.
Which
You
there's some
anchored your
good
clientele.
Tennessee. Shout out to Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof.
Sure,
man.
yeah.
That shit's delicious. But
Yeah.
if you're not being it's tough to go from a bourbon to a Tennessee whiskey to like the next stage. You're gonna put in Alberta rye,
Or are you going to throw it in some
You're
kind of
changing
finished
your
barrel,
calling card, so to
Yeah.
speak. You
Yeah.
anchored folks on this one product, and then you're transitioning to something totally out of the blue, and it's going to catch a lot of folks off guard.
Right.
So what I was talking about when it comes to Smooth Ambler, I think they did it right from the start. Even though there's a lot of speculation about Pernod Ricard,
Yeah.
they were pretty honest about what their product was. It was MGP. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Honestly, Smooth Ambler started out as I have a barrel-aged gin from them that's pretty solid. They have vodka, a potato vodka, but then they turned last year, right, or the year before, they just did 100% whiskey. But it's not about them. It's not about other source plate people. It's about Traverse City Whiskey Company.
Yeah, full
You know,
transparency.
you know,
Tell us what you got.
Yeah, tell us what
You
you
know?
got. You know, I think we, you know,
Show me what
we're
you
told
got.
we're told Kentucky distillate. I think we already have a banger in number 3. I think the
Yeah.
rye is spectacular.
Definitely good.
The rye is
For sure.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's like if we just go into the rye, I think that's a 100% guaranteed
Oh.
pick because it's an
Allow
outlier
me-
from the others, but it's so fantastic.
It's really nice. I'd be curious to see once we pick a bourbon, if we were to pit the rye against the bourbon, if we had to do one, why would we pick that one?
Well, I mean, I would,
Rye would be?
I would blind take.
Rye would
I
be?
would blind
Yeah,
you
rye would-
guys.
that would happen.
I'd blind you all, but I mean, you're all smart enough to know. I mean, you can pick up that rye nose from
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
a
blinding
mile
between
away,
a rye and a
so-
bourbon is different. We're not comparing apples to apples. That's more just for the sake of conversation.
Yeah.
So what I was going to say, allow me to say 1 versus 2. Again.
1 versus 2. Let's
bring it back.
I'm gonna try more.
So
I originally
we
was a
were
1
split
fan.
originally.
No, I mean, I think I have my clear winner, and it's not 1 or 2.
Well, no, I mean 4. I think
I agree.
takes the trophy, but we're fighting for silver medal, like you said.
Yeah, I mean,
Number 2.
you lose the gold,
fight.
you win the bronze, right?
First
Like,
of all, who gives a fuck who's second?
it wasn't about winning. They wouldn't keep score, right? Wasn't that Lombardi?
I'm still going with the nose on 1 is so much better.
It's so
than 2.
nice, isn't
It's
it, though?
so much better.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not so much better, but it's like...
No, it is.
just-
Stick with that, because I like it too. I think it's good.
I mean, they're so similar. It's tough.
They're
really
basically
Similar,
they're
but
basically
there's less.
There's 99.9% similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Barrel.
identical.
And my 1%,
difference.
my 0.1%,
Yes.
and my
Barely a difference.
It's
Hey.
barely a difference,
That's
Jeff.
the dad joke of the
You know-
day.
Jeff, you need to appreciate this dad joke. From
Okay, but between my 0.1%, my big nose, and your big nose, I think number 2 is where it's at because we get what we needed to get.
I like 2. I like the finish on 2. I think the nose on 1 and 2 are very similar. 1 might be a touch brighter. 2, I think, transitions better across the palate.
That's exactly
but again,
what I like about 1.
we're arguing about second place.
No, I know, but
Nobody
that's
cares about
exactly
second
what
place.
I like about 1. It's brighter. It's just a little bit more punch.
It's a little more punch. Yeah, I'll
So
give you
you-
that. But we're
so-
arguing about what's the best loser.
It's literally
Yeah, but I
barely
mean,
a
like
difference.
all you kids out there.
It's barely a difference. Literally. Yeah.
It's
Rich,
barely
I love how
a
much you
difference.
love that. I love it.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yo,
That's a T-shirt, by the way. Barely a difference, and we're gonna have just a generic barely a difference.
I mean, just nose
with
4.
your
Nose 4
with
again.
with your face on it.
Put your nose into 4.
Like, it's
We're-
gonna-
we're- barely a
want-
difference.
We want to have fans. We're not putting my face on anything.
No, I'll tell you what. 4 is
4 is
1 and 2 can be.
4 is hands down
You
the
can-
best,
you
which
can
is
talk-
not what you poured me
you
for
can-
my extra pour of 4.
You can talk all you want about 1 and 2. Talk about them.
Yeah.
Because they ain't fucking talking
No,
about them.
you know,
like-
four is definitely, I think, our favorite of
yeah.
all. No question.
I would agree.
Sweetness.
So
Yeah.
this
of the bourbons,
simple-
4 is the clear winner.
The simple
the rye.
fact of 1 and 2,
Right.
I'm going to put it to rest, and you guys can continue talking about it, whatever. But 1 and 2, 1 has a better nose. They're so incredibly similar, but 1
Not 4.
has one
Not the
has
4.
Not
4 is a different discussion. 1 and 2.
We don't talk about 3rd and 4th place. We
No,
don't
we're
give a
talking about
fuck.
second place.
No, we don't care.
No, silver medals, man.
No.
Every participation
It's really
trophies.
a bronze medal because
You
the
know?
rye stood out by itself.
So 1 has a
Everybody gets a
better
trophy.
nose. Like
Come on.
that's the only subtle difference that I get is 1 has a better nose. So I'm going to pick 1.
That's fair. And
2.
again, there's
both-
only 5 tastes. Those are on your tongue. There's everything else is a flavor.
I'm wrong a lot.
So if you like it, you like it.
I
So
like
can
the
we?
nose on
So
1.
let's
Let's move on to how
We're gonna
awesome
skip
4
past
is.
that.
So we're gonna go to
Segment.
consensus. So we picked to
We picked
The original 4.
The original.
Not
a
the new
95.5 rye.
No, that's
Listen, so we picked number 3. I thought that was a
Yes.
given. That was a
Yeah,
winner.
3 is our
The rye's beautiful. It's bright. It's gorgeous.
And then we picked Old Barton is the source. 21% rye. What did I say? 70% corn and 4% malted barley.
75.
So 76, I think, something like that. 77.
75.
75.
Yeah, something like that.
75 corn. And I don't get, honestly,
Because we were at 96. So
tell me how much corn you get off number 4.
It's not a corny pick.
It is not a corny
Actually, all right.
The corny dad jokes are killing me. I love
I'm
it.
actually going to stop this panel for 1 second because I wanted another pour of 4, and I think you gave me a different one. Which bottle is number 4?
This one, the one you fucking been drinking out of.
All right, so
yeah, no.
Because, no, it's
I'm
not.
smelling number 5.
Yeah, it's not number 4.
No, it's clearly number 4 because
want
number
a new
5
glass?
is just a corny mess.
Here.
It's cornier than Rich's dad joke.
5 is the one that got eliminated like hours ago. This is like 17th take.
Take a new glass.
No, it's the first take.
This was a one and done. We pretty much knocked this out of the park,
Definitely not
folks.
the second take. Third, fourth.
No, that's number 4.
That's 4. No, it's good.
The industry is not glamorous, just so you know.
Totally not.
Yeah,
All right,
no,
so
you
this
can
is
tell.
number
Just
4.
knows 4 versus 5. It's not even close.
Well, yeah, 5 is sitting here. That's been here the whole time.
It's corny.
Yes,
Four is
it
better.
smells
It's
like burnt
aggressive.
popcorn.
It does smell like burnt popcorn. Yeah, it's like
Yeah, how good is that
diacetyl
one?
and just
Oh,
awful.
Dude, 4 is so
Four
good.
is so good.
4. It's not even
Wait, we're not
4.
supposed to agree, right? We're
4 is
supposed
the
to,
clear
like,
winner.
Not
No.
agree with each other or something.
You can do whatever you want, but
4 is like a pun. It's a
That
great
shit is-
reword.
It's an anomaly.
For all of
It's-
this
it's
effort.
it's good.
Yeah, so it's good.
It smells fantastic.
It's nice. Yeah.
so
let's just for conversation's sake, what do you think? If you had to pick one of these, I get I think we're leaning toward 2.
The rye or the
We're
bourbon.
leaning toward a rye and a bourbon here. If we had to go between
We
one
already
or
have
the
our
other,
rye.
I think
why would you pick
If
one?
you had to pick one.
If you had to pick one,
The nose. The
I
nose.
think
on 4?
so.
No, on
Or the
one.
rye?
So
No,
if you-
between 3 and
listen,
4.
Listen.
Oh,
so
4 for sure.
If you had to pick between a rye and a bourbon, I think it's both up in there because number 3 being the rye, it's a tip. I mean, it's a bright MGP rye.
Oh, it's super bright. Agreed.
Number 4 is not MGP, but it's a Kentucky distillate.
Yeah.
We think it's Old Barton. Dude, they're both. I don't think you can compare the two.
It's definitely not
different.
apples to apples.
It's a bright versus dark.
It's a personal thing.
If you like rye,
Yeah.
number 3 is.
It's
fucking
one of those
phenomenal.
things where I said the guy that said drinking rye is like eating rye bread, and I said whatever, motherfucker. Like you need to fucking drink more rye because it's good. It's
really
sweetness
nice,
to
yeah.
it. It's a depth to it.
It's good. Oh, I agree.
Savory.
They're very, very different. Just playing devil's advocate because I'm the random guest that gets to
No, I
pose those
appreciate
questions
that
to the
'cause I
panel.
love that. Yeah.
You know, if you were to pick one, which one would you go with? And for me, they're very different. I'm not arguing that. We're not apples to apples
the
anymore.
bourbon.
I think I would lean toward.
I would choose the bourbon too.
I would lean toward the bourbon as well. I think the rye is bright. There's a lot of bright young ryes coming out.
There's a ton.
Peerless, Wilderness
Yeah.
Trail. They're doing these sweet mashes. They're awesome.
Yeah,
The unique sugary notes in that bourbon for me though really shine.
Redwood Empire.
And
I
it's
think
it's good.
Those dark sugary notes, like instantly
But hey,
change.
hold
Like,
on.
oh wow! Like,
I wanna dive right
I
in.
don't know. I don't know. We don't know the price point of.
True.
I want to go back to. I want.
$700.
Yeah, depending on the sticker, it's gonna be $800. But no, in all seriousness, you brought up a couple distilleries, Wilderness Trail, that I've respected
Yeah.
from the start.
Same, yeah.
Shout out to Carl Neubauer from Hollowhorn because
Hell yeah.
he introduced me to these guys. I want to say 2 or 3 years ago.
The best
Yeah.
distillery experience I've ever had.
And the fact that, he said, look, Jeff, these guys are way ahead of the game, and they know what they're talking about when it comes to.
They sure do.
They had the Pharma Lab. They know what mash you're
Chemistry.
doing. Yeah. So
I mean, they're controlling what they can control, right? So we talked a little bit earlier about how the barrel is so much the flavor beyond the yeast and the mash bill. You don't have a lot of say.
you put it in the
and
barrel
where you
and
cut
leave it
your
up to
heads and
nature.
tails.
Yeah.
So when you've got a place like those guys that are really championing what you can do as a yeast lab and what you can prove and what
Right.
you can't, they're getting to the nuance of what they can control, and the rest is left to New American Oak, right?
So this goes back to the beer world, you know, like yeast is a big thing, like a huge,
100%.
you know.
And it's not just regional, it's what you get. And the Hefeweizen is the perfect example.
Yeah.
You get a balance
Actually,
of bananas and cloves.
Yep.
And if it's out of balance, because
it heavy? Is
the
it
fermentation, or when all the chemistry occurs,
nerds,
We're going on
Let's
that.
keep going.
So
just let me go with my banana tangent, all right? So
Are we done yet?
But he's not wrong.
The idea is we're gonna pick number 4 as our barrel.
100% picking number 4.
I think
100%.
we're doing number 4, number 3.
And number 3.
Right, I think we're
We're gonna
gonna
pick number 3 too.
Who would have thought that, shocker, pick 2 barrels with these guys again? But no, it's they just started
good.
distributing into New York through there's it's called LibDib. There's a distributor out there that is brand new to New York, and these guys are doing it. And I think the quality of the whiskey product speaks for themselves. We tried several whiskeys the last few weeks, and look, if you wanna contract distill from MGP or Barton or whatever, it's a barrel, in my opinion.
Yeah,
it could taste way different from. Look, there's several ryes that don't taste like that. That is a bright rye, which is.
Well, I think in Take 73 we got into like ryes and like, no, I mean, but sourcing, in all seriousness, we got into like sourcing and how some people don't agree with that. And some people say, oh, well, it's not your whiskey and it's not your distillate, which is fine. We kind of came to the discussion that we agree and respect both that it's your own distillate if you're patient enough to wait, or you're going to source something, and hopefully yours is as good when it comes out, High West is one of those ones. They started,
High West,
didn't they start
great
putting like
example.
16 or 20% of their own distillate in Midwinter Night's Dram?
Yeah, started
Constellation
Yeah.
takes over, and it's a big question.
Woodinville's another good example.
Woodinville's a great
They
example,
refuse
yep.
to source, which is a little bit atypical.
Yeah.
But I would argue that Woodinville has a pretty nice profile, and it drinks above its age statement. And
Absolutely.
Definitely does.
Yeah.
Especially our pick.
our pick
Yeah,
was
Carl,
was good.
Your pick down there, yeah. That was
I went into
really
that.
Our pick.
good. Your pick.
Nice
Nick
job,
was on
Carl.
that. Nick was
I
on
was
that.
on that pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. The notes
there it
that
is.
came out of
Yeah,
that
see?
for a 5-year
Right
product
there.
were really impressive. That punches way above its weight and above its
Yeah.
price point, and that's where some of these craft distilleries are going. And it's okay. You don't have to necessarily source to get there, but if you do, it's okay.
Yeah, but if you do,
be
it's okay,
transparent,
but
like we
the
said.
Transparency thing, yeah. Like, just tell us where it's coming from.
As long
because-
as, so the big thing is, so you source, and you finally get ready to, here's mine. I pray to God it's similar.
Yeah, all right.
Well, that's the tough part,
It's not
right?
gonna
You
be, though.
can't
Yeah.
just
It could
flip
be.
the
It's not
switch.
gonna be, though,
It could
because
be.
of the whole going into
You're
like
not
leaving
trying-
it
If you
to
have the
nature
grain,
after
if you have the,
after you
it's all
ferment
about,
that,
it's all,
you know.
I mean, honestly,
It comes
I
back to
feel like
transparency.
the quality of the grains,
That's
could,
that is actually the hugest thing in my opinion for whiskey, the quality of the
Or
grains.
beer, anything.
Yeah. everything.
quality of the grains, if you're
It stops there.
if you're trying to, I guess, I don't know, leapfrog or whatever it is.
If you wanna
that
rush
step,
something
if
to
you
the
want to rush
market,
something,
sure.
you're gonna.
You can.
You
And
can't take shortcuts.
There's a few people I could.
I mean, you can. Hopefully, you
there's
get lucky with a barrel. You know.
Almost nobody has been successful with that.
Yeah.
Jeff is hitting the nail on the head right here in that
Yeah.
the quality in is quality out. And if you are going to source, you need to be transparent because you're not going to have the MGP profile. It's a different distiller.
Right.
It's like having
gonna
two
be-
different
But
shafts with the
different
same
water,
recipe.
for
potentially-
Christ's sake.
you
It's
potentially
different
could.
water.
Yes, agreed.
Like your
So,
water is
the
different.
big thing. So I've talked to Carl way too many times. Shout out to Carl.
Shout out to Carl.
Love him to death. Well, I've talked to him several times, and the biggest thing is, why is he going to be different? I think the quality of his grains are going to be, you're going to know. Studying there in Springbank, he's a single malt guy. He's big into bourbon, but I think he's more into single malt.
Yeah,
he has some funky ass shit, bro.
But he's doing some.
He has some funky, like.
I love
I'm telling you, like whatever that habanero bullshit.
Devil's Bedroom.
Dude,
It's fantastic.
Oh my god!
gin, right?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
it's
Paul, I had
it's
that at your
a New
house.
York peated whiskey
Oh, is it?
finished on honey and habaneros, and it's beautiful. The level
I've
of
had so many
balance in
people
that
that-
pour blows my mind.
And the
If
best
you can
thing
do
is
the
it's
heat,
so not supposed to be.
right?
It's not supposed
on
to be
paper.
good.
I heard that, and I was like, and to be
probably-
honest with you, Carl, I'm a little bit scared.
Yeah,
like,
like,
this
wait a
sounds like
minute,
this
what are
is
you
just
doing?
a wild tangent, and then one
Yeah.
sip, and I was like, wow, I
It
can't
burns
believe
a
these
little
things
bit.
play.
Can I have another pour?
No, I've probably had 3 haters. Never again. I said, that's good, because I'll drink all your bottle. Like,
Yeah.
it was, and I know we're going off tangent because this was a pick episode, but
Yeah, so we decided on
We-
4.
no.
And 3 is our rye.
3 and 4.
And 4 is our bourbon.
And,
Yeah.
you know, to shout out to what we normally do at the end, we're going to do a little toast chug.
Yeah, let's
1910.
find
We're
Yeah, I
at this
got
point,
you.
we're 1910. So
1910.
We've skipped over the 1920.
And,
we've gone
you know,
back a decade.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Let's
And
roll it
frankly,
back.
This whole, I think honestly this holds its own with 1920 because you can
No, it's right here.
call out the
Oh.
1915
Gee,
label
good.
that you might have
Good.
seen somewhere mistakenly because it doesn't exist.
I think,
Right.
I like it because it's a good blend.
I love
between
this,
1910
actually.
and
It's one of my
1920.
favorite.
no, it's
So you're-
spectacular.
Well, we talked about birthday bourbon earlier. Well, you did, because you're more versed on birthday bourbon. But, I mean, this is, you know, for what it costs and how easy it is to
Dude,
find.
birthday bourbon, you take this and put like Sour Patch Kids. It's gonna be
Mix
birthday bourbon.
1910 and
Sour Patch
20, you get
Kids?
1915.
I haven't
Birthday
had
bourbon
I
is
haven't had a
sour.
modern one. I
Yeah.
haven't had it since probably 13 or 14.
Well, those are the best years because
Yeah,
ever
they
since
were.
They were phenomenal.
I still have 14 open, and
I need to try this.
He wouldn't let me try 14 when I was at his house. Actually, you did
Was it
give
because
me
of the
one
Sour
pour
Patch
one, but he
Kids?
wouldn't give me 14.
No, I gave you 13.
You gave me 13.
I love it.
14
Because
was your
14 was like-
favorite.
I love
You're
those
like,
pop
I'm not
culture
gonna pour.
references and taste
I have
them.
like this much of 13. I have this much of 14.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a
No,
choice.
and totally respectable.
But
I,
I-
just, I, didn't,
but I-
I haven't tried 14
I
yet.
tried 2020 recently, and I was just like,
Yeah. But everything's rushed. That's
Dude,
that's another episode.
If
though,
you're
of
going to get
how,
these,
like,
let's
we're
talk about
rushing things to
150th
market.
and the 3 different profiles they created, because
That's a
that's
whole
an
other
episode
show.
that maybe these guys will invite me back for.
Yeah, I mean everybody's rushing
Baby.
things to market right now. Like
have
barrel
that-
aged,
I
like
have
going
that
from
one. I have
beers
that
like
one
barrel aged
as well.
beers and
so
stuff.
fucked.
But I can get batch 2, batch 3 if we need it. I got it. I'll hook it up if that's going to be a real episode, because that's a very cool story about one distillery taking 3 different profiles of their own distillate and how wildly different they are. If we blinded them out, quality
talking OFA?
television. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I would love to do that.
That'd be
Let's talk-
fantastic.
We'll talk about that for sure.
So shout out our
Yeah.
Shout out here,
our
Alex.
chug estimate. Our
Chug. Chug.
hey, thanks
Cheers.
Nick.
Thanks again for
Nick.
having me, boys. Good stuff.
Here's all.
Appreciate it again.
Dude, fucking fourth take.